about doing dhikr, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, for 10 times each?
10 times?
Yes.
What do you mean? Like when?
Like, just from growing up, I learned 33, 33, 34. And doing the dhikr, is there any hadith about doing it 10 times each?
Stick with what you heard about growing up. 33, 33, 33, 34. Inshallah. Okay? And if you just want to make tasbih or tahleel or takbir and generally, that's fine as well. Wallahu alam. Father Muzammil.
Uh, what do you say about a wake? Like something that people do when a person dies, they hold an event or something where the family gathers and everybody consoles.
Clear. I've been to wakes before,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the term isn't important. Janazas, what we have in the sunnah. If you call it a wake, no problem. We offer our rights upon our brother. We give him his rights, okay? And if there are travelers and family members who are hungry and thirsty and tired, they need to rest and eat, they come by your house, khayran. You honor your guest during all situations and circumstances, okay? If the family needs to be consoled and supported and helped, you sit with them, that's one thing, khayran. As far as making a systematic system of visiting, cooking, preparing, everybody sits around laughing, joking, talking, maybe even drinking, little Hennessy. It is death, so why not drink, right? As Muslims. He's in the grave now as we speak, so, drink away the pain. Huh? You get the idea? It's very unfortunate, yani. What happens when people eat and drink and sit around? Do they think about death? Does it soften the heart? No. So that's a problem. That's not the sunnah. And there are other things in which the wake may fall under of impermissibility or bid'ah. But doesn't mean that people can't come over your house. And obviously, if they've come over your house, then they're going to need to eat and drink. And if they're from out of town, they're going to be your guests. Even though the sunnah is to offer the food for the family of the deceased. But we as Muslims have reversed the sunnah in so many other aspects. So what you mean by wake in the traditional cultural term? Of course not. Batil. As far as if you mean general people coming over, sitting, that's a different story. Wallahu alam.
Follow-up question to that. At the janazah, viewing of the body and anyone offering words of remembrance for the person who died.
The body is not to be viewed except by those who are washing the body. Period. Words of remembrance, make dua for them. No eulogies in Islam. Make dua for them. Oh Allah, forgive them. It's no need to say this, he was a good basketball player, and I remember the time he ran in the wrong end zone. We was down by 6 with 2 seconds left. And lies, no memories. There's no why all the good ones have to die. It's none of that. And all of these things, all jokes aside, these things go back to 2 words. Islamic identity. How strong or how weak? How strong is your Islamic identity? How weak is your Islamic identity? Or your cultural identity is stronger than your Islamic identity. Right? And Allah knows best. Father Hamza.
When you're in ruku, do you say Allah Akbar and then go, or do you just go and say Allah Akbar?
Both are optional, inshallah. Move first, then the takbir. Takbir first, then move. Inshallah.
Is it okay if you delay what if you're like in school and like if you're only praying looking at like 1:15?
It's permissible to delay it if you have to, as long as it's in the proper time. Wallahu alam. Tayyib. Let's take a few online, perhaps. First question is coming from the Nocturnal Bowl from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Initials MG. What would be the best way to build vocabulary on the side while learning Arabic in a class? From Arabic, English dictionary, or other sources? Well, if you're already in the class, ask your teacher what his advice would be. Ask him what he thinks. Ask him what he thinks. Or her. Your teacher may be female, Allahu alam. Ask your teacher what they think. Don't oversee or supersede your teacher if you don't have to. As far as if you need a supplement and you want to learn something on the side, it's okay as long as it doesn't infringe upon your duties for the actual class. Don't forget, the fard takes precedence over the sunnah. The class is fard. Your personal efforts are sunnah. All right? That's what I would say, inshallah ta'ala. And if your teacher doesn't give you anything, come back and see me. Huh? Inshallah. Wallahu alam. AW from Ontario, Canada. During wudu, I was washing my right foot. Then I noticed there was a soap on my leg, so I washed my leg. After this, I took water and washed my left foot. Was the wudu valid? First and foremost is be careful of waswas. That's number one. Secondly is, if you had to take a brief break or brief pause from washing something for a need, and it wasn't too long, it wasn't too extreme, khayran inshallah. Wallahu alam, beware of waswasa. WL, London, UK, is hypnotherapy permissible? As long as it's someone that's trustworthy doing the hypnotherapy. That's dangerous. You're giving someone the keys and the access to your subconscious. Right? You're getting sleepy. And next thing you know, give me the money from your bank account. Tell me your PIN number. Give me the code to your vote and under your doghouse at home. What happened? So it's a very delicate process. Let alone somebody may mess you up. So be careful who gives you hypnotherapy. Make sure that they're trustworthy and they have some type of fear of Allah and deen. If that's the case, inshallah, I don't know anything that prohibits hypnotherapy. Wallahu ta'ala alam. AW from Ontario, Canada. Is salah valid if you make sujood with your hands touching two different surfaces, such as be careful of waswas? Assalamu alaikum. This is JM from Atlanta, Georgia. I was wondering if it's permissible to turn your placenta into pills in order to ingest to get the remaining nutrients, or is it considered cannibalism? I would avoid that. And I would get any other nutrients that you need from other sources that are tayyib. Wallahu alam. AA, Bronx, New York. How long should the beard be? Let the beard flow. Don't touch it. Leave it be. And issues are from Boston, Massachusetts. Should we follow Hanafi madhab as he had direct relations to the Prophet ﷺ, whereas the other imams didn't? Learn and study what madhab you feel is best for you. If you're a beginner, if you're a layman, if you're intermediate, follow what's clear to you from the madhab. You keep studying it, you study for a very long time, follow no madhab. Follow the proofs and evidences directly. And if it's an issue in which there are any proofs and evidences, and there's nothing from the Sahaba, there's nothing wrong with taking what this Imam deduced and laid out and has been practiced by great scholars. Khairan. What's important is my advice is the golden rule, the constitution of a hadith disciple is to learn the form, but seek the formless. Learn the madhab, learn the rules, sit under the scholar, etc. But at the same time, you want to, what? Okay, what they say, another rule from the Hadith Disciple Manual is to learn the kata, right? And then after you learn the kata, you start to what? Distance yourself. You start to disregard the what? The kata. And last but not least is you what? You relinquish the kata, you abandon it. That's how I learned in the beginning. And you slowly what? Start straying away from that. And then when you become skilled, then you what? You abolish it. That's disciplism. I can't say ilm. Allahu alam. Question is coming from RR from Kerala, India. Should I lower my gaze in front of non-mahram relatives, i.e. first cousins? It's not absolutely impermissible to look at a non-mahram woman for need. And what I mean by look at is eye contact. You may have to make eye contact in a store. You may have to make eye contact in a courtroom. You may have to make eye contact in a hospital or something that's needed. So if that's your cousin, you're related to them, Assalamu alaikum, how you guys doing? Kada. You don't have to stare and lust and gaze at them, but at the same time, don't be rude. And avoid doing things to the best of your ability that are far beyond the people's understanding. Futuristic moves. The average person is hugging and kissing their cousin, right? Okay, you're not hugging them, you're not kissing them, you're not going to look at them. They may not be able to understand that. Their level of Islam and understanding may be what? Way in the back end, and you're light years ahead of them. So you don't want to confuse people unnecessarily, and you don't want to push people away from the sunnah, what? Unnecessarily. That's the point I'm trying to get to. Okay? So you speak with them, you speak to them bil ma'ruf in an honorable way. Assalamu alaikum. How you guys doing? All right, mashallah. You guys are welcome in the house. We have the food there sitting for you. Sister, auntie is going to be with you. Kada, may Allah bless you. Kada. Bil ma'ruf. Bil ma'ruf, yani. You don't have to be any munkar, you're staring, lusting. Bil ma'ruf. It's your cousin. She's not your mahram, but it doesn't mean that she's a total stranger and you have to treat her rudely, let alone if you're the most religious person in your family. You have the most knowledge in your family. You have the most sunnah in your family. You have the most of this way of the salaf in your whole village. You have to be easy with the people. And don't run too fast and leave them in the, because it's already enough for them to accept that you can't do this. We can't celebrate the Prophet's birthday. Okay, no problem. I can't give you a birthday cake. Okay, no problem. We can't do keva. You put your hands up like this. You throw, now you can't even speak to me. You can't even such and such. It's what? Too much. Too much. You don't want to snap and break the people, right? Wallahu ta'ala alam. You guys understand my point or not?
Following up to that question,
Fadl, Idris. Ilyas, excuse me.
So, you know, as a river standpoint from the Dominican Republic, you know, that's like a cultural thing. You know, you say hi to cousins, family members, unlike cousins usually. You know, you hug, you kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Valentine's Day, but you know.
Inshallah. Tayyib?
But yeah, you know, so yeah, that's one of the challenges. For example, when I go back, I'll definitely face that challenge. Whereas you know, they might find it, you know, it's like, oh, this guy is too much. You know, so
Crystal clear. Crystal clear. Crystal clear. Challenges, like you said. I mean, I would advise you to speak to someone sensible. They don't have to be Muslim, but someone that has more common sense than the rest of them. Uncle such and such. Your grandma such and such. You sit down and you tell her, you talk to her. You know I love you, grandma. You know that already. I don't have to prove you know I love you. However, my faith, there are rules, etc., etc. If she gets it, or if he gets it, he says, no problem, I get it. He doesn't even want to talk about religion. He may not have a religion. He may have been oppressed by people of the church. He understands because he likes you. That smile. Your nephew such and such. I'll talk to them. Don't worry. I'll straighten it out. I'll handle it. Use a buffer if you can. Someone that's sensible and respected. Oh, look, guys, you know, such and such, so please don't make a scene. We're here to eat together as a family. If he doesn't give you, heck of that. And if that doesn't work, and if you can't do that, try your best to explain it to them. And sometimes, don't misunderstand me saying that you have to be considerate of someone's feelings in front of Quran and Sunnah. We're not saying that. Sometimes you have to hurt somebody's feelings. There's no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't eat that. That's haram. I can't drink. I'm sorry. We can't have this cigar, even though it's a hand-rolled cigar made by a master. Cuban cigars. No doubt, the tobacco smells nice. I used to smoke it before I was a Muslim. You know, it's the cultural thing. You have to take the cigar. I know, but I'm sorry, I can't. And if you can't explain it with hikmah, with gentleness, and if a person is offended and they're not giving you a chance, then what? So be it. Sorry, uncle. You can get mad. Oh, he's brainwashed. He doesn't want to smoke the cigar with me. We used to smoke it. He was little. I remember the first time I gave him a cigar, I snuck it behind his mother. He didn't tell, he broke my heart. I'm sorry. My religion comes first. But try your best to avoid that. Try your best to what? Last but not least, the last step is that if you get too weak, you feel too embarrassed or whatever, it's too hot, then fold. But don't justify it. And don't change the religion. I was weak. I saw my cousin. I haven't seen her in years. She's so happy to see me. She gave me a big hug and kiss. You make Toba. I saw my uncle. It broke my heart. The thought of me telling him no, I what? puff the cigar. But don't now make the new ruling saying, oh, it's permissible for me to smoke the cigar because I'm a Muslim minority. It's permissible for me to hug my cousin because, no. The rules are the what? The rules. A person's individual weakness, or only Allah knows. If you don't have, if you have all practicing family members Muslim, you may not be able to relate. But like us who come from family members in which you got Aunt May or whatever, Faye, whatever, cousin such and such, uncle such and such. Come here, boy, what you mean? You can't, yeah? Right? At a funeral or something, you see a family friend that watched you grow up. She said, oh, you big and tall. You're looking good. Come here, boy. And you try to get away from it, and she's not what? She's not taking no for an answer. So we're going to stiff arm her? It has happened before, but you guys get the point I'm trying to make. You may be in a tight situation, and the pressure is tight, and you may not have the ability to, and you fold. But do not justify it and say it's lawful. And you have to have the intention to talk about it and to avoid it if you can. And this is a major problem coming from different, backgrounds. No doubt. It's not easy. Everybody doesn't just, everyone isn't respectful. Some people, they take high offense. If you don't come over, if you don't do this, or if you got to stand your ground. Ask Allah for firmness. Wallahu alam. Khair inshallah. Samin Musallam. Hayyak Allah. Salamak Allah. AW from Ontario, Canada. Is it permissible to buy used products because you don't know if they would be function correctly, and if a company is selling them in bulk, you don't know if you get a defective one, does it fall into gambling? Not necessarily gambling. Life is a gamble. Buying a new product is a gamble. You don't know if it's going to work. You don't know if you're going to like it. You don't know if it's going to if you're going to lose the receipt, if you can return it. Life is a gamble, Tawakkul in everything you do. You're rolling the dice with everything that you do. So it's permissible to buy something used, but make sure that you try your best to get a description of the product. You know what you're getting into. And most used things, they'll tell you it is what it is. This is the price. Let alone the modern world today in which the specifics and the dimensions, Amazon, right? How much it weighs, how long it is, the color, the reviews, everything is a detailed system. You know what you're getting. As if you're in the souk, putting your hand in the pile of grain, right? And Allah surely knows best. Khair, inshallah, we'll stop here tonight, guys. Inshallah ta'ala, please don't forget to sign up for our monthly lecture, workshop, webinar. This month we'll be discussing Western holidays. Western holidays in light of Quran and Sunnah. And the last Thursday of this month, we all know what day that is. Turkey Day. So that's what we're going to be talking about, the great turkey and the stuffing and the gravy and the wild rice and the mac and cheese and the cranberry sauce. That's right. Okay. Naam, and the what? The sweet potato pie, right? The warm apple cider. The biscuits, you break them in half in the butter. You just put a little bit of butter on it. What? You close the biscuit or the roll, a dinner roll, even better. How many seconds later that butter is what? Nah. Those who remember Thanksgiving, like you said, hardships, practicing the Sunnah, becoming a Muslim. It's easy for you to talk about it. Come from the Middle East, but you don't know what grandma's turkey is like. So that's what we'll be talking about, inshallah. Western holidays in light of Quran and Sunnah, all jokes aside. And of course, we're going to start off with Thanksgiving. The last Thursday of this month will be on Thanksgiving. So make sure you check it out. You can find it on HadithDisciple.com or HadithDiscipleShop.com, Sign up for the tickets there. Western holidays in light of Quran and Sunnah. And if you need a Thanksgiving dinner or a football game with a turkey with 6 legs sewn together on it, I don't know if you remember that. Madden and Pat Summerall. The Cowboys versus the Vikings, right? If you need a cross-worshiping Puritan coming over and usurping lands from the indigenous and spreading diseases, if you need them to tell you to be thankful to Allah and to remind you to be thankful of Allah, your iman is in a serious, serious situation. All right, words of wisdom to those who say, "Oh, it's permissible. There's nothing wrong with it." If you have to have shukr to Allah based off of that, what's your aqidah like, right? So the history of Thanksgiving and the refutation of those who say that Thanksgiving is not based off of religion, which it is. Of course, it's been modernized and secularized. That's another extreme. You can't reject that. It's not a religious thing like that. It's a commercial thing, cultural thing, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have a foundation. So we're going to talk about history of Thanksgiving, the dynamics of Thanksgiving, the rulings of Thanksgiving, what you can and cannot do on Thanksgiving, so on and so forth. And hopefully the next one will be on Christmas. Allah surely knows best, and with him is all success.